this is what I have to protect my kiddos. So this is a metal bat that I have here. And then this is called the Barracuda. Now this part goes over the door handle. So it just slips over like this. It just makes it really easy to block the door.
Overworked, stressed out educators are now facing indignant parents. And if viral videos are any indication, they're mostly white parents outraged at everything from made up issues like CRT, which is not being taught in any public schools, to COVID measures to protect staff and students. So how are teachers responding? By tossing the deuces. A new survey this week by the country's largest teachers union found that a staggering 55% of teachers want to quit earlier than they had planned, and those numbers are even higher for Black and Latino educators.
Is there really a teacher shortage in this country? Or are teachers just dropping out because we treat them horribly while calling them heroes? I'm Yasmin Khan with Rebel HQ, and the education system in this country, which, let's be honest, was never the best in the first place, has come under fresh fire in recent months thanks to right-wing efforts to rewrite the bad or uncomfortable parts of history, to arm teachers and train them to defend students against gun violence, to ban books, to bring creationism and religion back into secular schools, to provide religious private schools with public funding, to also defund the Department of Education, and more. You get it. And that's all on top of the trauma that we put entire school systems through during the pandemic, when we had students and teachers in and out of classrooms due to sporadic quarantines, virtual schooling that hampered classroom participation and put additional strain on parents, and fluctuating mask mandates that were inconsistently enforced. And that's not to mention the politicization of the masks, the guns, the lesson plans, etc., that had teachers unable to run their own classrooms without exorbitant, disruptive, and sometimes threatening parental intervention.
We know who you are. We know who you are. You can leave freely, but we will find you, and we know who you are. You will never be allowed in public again. You will never be allowed. You'll never let it be allowed in public again.
In an opinion piece from the Washington Post, a now retired teacher stated, "I will go work retail or something rather than go back to the classroom after the vitriol from the community about teachers and COVID."
He's going to be traumatized because you put that mask on him and you don't let him breathe freely. You're traumatized.
That's my choice.
Yeah, well,
that's my choice. You better respect my choice too.
Masking children is child abuse.
It is.
You mask your child, you're a child abuser.
The article goes on to say, quote, "We used to ask teachers only to work long hours, discipline the children parents failed to parent, coach a team, head a committee, run a bake sale, and carve pieces off a meager salary to buy school supplies. In the past 2 years, America has also suggested they carry guns to protect kids, risk their health to go into classrooms of unmasked children at the height of the pandemic, endure preposterous culture wars over curriculum that question their experience and education, all while withstanding shrill and unfounded accusations of grooming children for sexual purposes," end quote. Being a teacher in this country can be a thankless job, at least on a societal level. The pay is notoriously low, at least low enough to discourage people from considering it as a viable career option. Most people can't live off a starting salary of $33,000 a year before taxes, which can be more or less depending on your state. Or they're simply unwilling to, especially when you consider the debt people would have acquired in getting their teaching credentials, coupled with the rising cost of living and inflation in this country, inflation that has far outpaced salary and wage increases. You can't even afford $1,000 of rent on that salary, and again, that's not even mentioning the rising costs of real estate these days. When you have teachers quitting the job that they love and trained for to be bartenders because it pays better, there's a problem with the system. And for as much as the argument can be made that you have to work your way up from something, sort of. Yes, you have to work your way up in any chosen field, and yes, it's going to suck for a while at first, but the fact remains that a college degree no longer guarantees a livable income despite what an entire generation was promised, not even for jobs that are required for a functioning society. When you take into account the increasing cost of education, the educational requirements of many professions such as teaching, and the increasing cost of living, $33,000 a year starts to feel like a serious undervaluation. $33,000 went a lot further 2 decades ago than it does today. And sure, teachers get pensions, they get benefits. But if the pay isn't there, especially not initially, Well, it could help explain the high attrition rate of teachers. According to a special report from Education Week, polling taken in mid-2021 found that 84% of teachers found their jobs to be more stressful now than before the pandemic, which coincides with 33% of teachers considering themselves to be very likely to quit their jobs within 2 years post-pandemic, compared to only 13% pre-pandemic. The top reasons cited for staying in their positions: love for the job and love for the students. The pensions and retirement benefits are also nice, and teachers who have been in the game for a while probably earn a decent middle-class salary. For instance, teachers with 15 years of experience in the United States earn an average yearly salary of $65,000 a year. Not terrible. The top reason teachers consider leaving is the pay. Research out of Kansas State University found evidence that teachers receiving higher pay were more likely to stay than those receiving lower pay, which isn't exactly a groundbreaking finding, but it wasn't just the pay itself. It was the value it implied, the respect for the job. The American Federation of Teachers also did a survey and found that 75% of teachers said their jobs have gotten worse since the pandemic, with 29% citing low pay as their reason. The Washington Post piece also mentioned that, quote, federal data showed that 80% of schools reported increases in student behavioral issues, including rowdiness, threats, and fighting between students and aggression towards teachers during the pandemic. I don't need to tell you how important education is, and I don't need to tell you how important it is for kids to have a solid foundation of basic knowledge and critical thinking skills before they go forth into the world, or how important it is for children to learn how to interact with other kids their age and adults who aren't their parents. The implications of a poor education system are detrimental to the future of any nation. Our country also tends to defund education and put that money towards other sectors of society, most notably policing, for example. It's totally normal in this country to expect teachers to pay out of pocket for classroom supplies and to run bake sales to fund basic classroom amenities, and that should not be the norm. And no, it's not about the money for everyone. A lot of people take jobs that they know won't pay well because they believe in the work that they're doing. The pay is secondary to the job itself, and in teaching, I would say that that's often the case. But when our younger and more recently educated teachers are dropping out of classrooms because the pay is simply too low, even too low for someone who was already expecting low pay, that's a problem. When we keep expecting more from our teachers without compensating them accordingly, we end up with a teacher shortage in the United States of America, the greatest country in the world. All right, that's it for me, but there are so many angles to this story that I was not able to cover in this video. You in the comment sections, I'm sure, can discuss everything that I missed. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you got something out of this content, and be sure to follow me over on Instagram and TikTok.